You know what? You know what I'm gonna do? Here. I'm gonna put this here, and then hold on.
You're gonna put an asterisk.
Yes, I'm gonna put it. That's exactly what I'm putting an asterisk next to it.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are down one host with us this evening, but the show must go on. We hopefully aren't going to miss any more weeks like we did a couple weeks ago, but we are back with another Joe's on the Pros podcast. Aiden is joining us on location this week. We're glad that he was able to make things work. Our thoughts and prayers go out to all the people that are in the path of the hurricane going into Florida. This week, Aiden evacuated from Florida, ended up in. You said I think you're in Ohio. You're actually near JR now. I think
I'm literally the town next to JR, probably technically.
So one step closer to us having an all in-person podcast, right?
That's true. Yeah,
That'd be fun.
One day we might make that happen, but we all live in 3 different locations across the U.S. It'd be hard to get us all together. But anyway. Welcome, everyone, to this week's episode of the Joe's on the Pros podcast. This week, we are going to be talking more about the NFL and how it continues to be a crazy season with a lot of exciting games and a lot of what in the world am I watching games. I'm looking at you, Denver and San Francisco. Can we talk about that game for a second? Because that was not fun to watch. I don't know about did you guys watch any of it?
I fell asleep after the first quarter. That's how bad it was.
that pretty much sums it up.
That was a slugfest in the worst possible way.
The only reason I was watching it as the end was just to see if I got my prediction right, where all of you guys chose the 49ers and I chose the Broncos.
Can we also talk about how the fact we now have 2 new iconic moments where Dan Orlovsky is not the only. Dan Orlovsky is now not the only person to get a safety by stepping out of the end.
Just walk out of the back of the end zone. Yep.
And Mark Sanchez's butt fumble is now the butt punt.
Yep, we got a butt punt. That was I was watching that game live and I couldn't tell what happened. I thought he shanked it to the left and it was going like out of bounds at like the 15, and then all of a sudden it's bouncing out of the back of the end zone. And it took like a couple replays for the announcers to even realize what happened. That was bizarre.
That was crazy.
Like the announcer was like, "Oh, he kicked it backwards. How did he do that?" And then they realized, "Oh, it was a butt punt." But regardless of them having the butt punt, the Dolphins ended up with the win over the Buffalo Bills. Our missing host Brendan actually predicted that as his upset pick. The only one of the 4 of us to get an upset pick correct last week. And
it was a rough week for a lot of us on our picks this week.
There were some tough times.
Well, maybe for the 2 other people that are in this call apart from me, but I had I didn't have a great week. Those upsets are hard to pick though.
Dude, that's
the point. That's the point. I mean, only one of us got one this week.
I'm just mad because
only one of us got one the first week.
I'm just mad because I said I wanted to take the Dolphins, but I just couldn't.
Yeah, you almost had it.
I did.
You did. But you ended up with the Cardinals. The Cardinals didn't even score a touchdown, right? I think that's what happened. They didn't even score a touchdown against the Rams. That was not a very inspiring performance.
I mean, can we also talk about the anomaly of the score lines from a lot of these games last week? I mean,
like the betting lines, or
no,
just
the like actual scores.
Do we have any score? Did we have any scoregamis? 11-10 wasn't a scoregami.
14-12 wasn't a scoregami.
No.
24-8 was not a scoregami. 22-14, 27-12, 29-17,
a lot of these weird numbers.
24-22. Just what a week.
And here's the crazy thing is there's only one team that is yet to have a win and was not a team that I would have guessed would have started the season. Well, okay, let me rephrase. There's one team that started 0-3. There's a team that is 0-2-1 in the Texans. But there's only one team that has started 0-3. That's the Oakland Raiders, or Oakland. Whoa, Las Vegas Raiders. Whoops.
Whoa.
I'm stuck on the old ways, man. The Las Vegas Raiders are starting at 0-3 after dropping their game against the Titans. Do you think this team can turn it around, or is this a team that's already needing to give up on this season?
it's going to be
starting
tough
to get late.
Yeah, it's going to be tough in that division. I mean, we've talked about how difficult that division and the AFC in general is. I mean, like Denver, for example, if you just looked at the eye test and you watch the Raiders and the Broncos over the first 3 games, you could very easily come away from that saying you feel like the Raiders are the better team, but one's 0-3 and one's 2-1. It's it's crazy how those wins can slip away.
Yeah, that's for sure. And unfortunately, they have only one of their 3 losses was against a division opponent in the Chargers week 1. They lost. They completely blew it against the Cardinals, and then almost had a comeback against the Titans, but fell one. I think they were a 2-point conversion short of sending it to overtime. Because I know they scored a touchdown late. There was another game that came down to a failed 2-point conversion at the end. Aiden, you want to talk about that one?
I don't want to hear it. NFL screwed the Bucs.
I was about to say, go ahead and give your piece about the play clock. Go ahead.
Okay, so the play clock on a 2-point conversion is supposed to be set at 25 seconds. It was set at 20 seconds for the Bucs. The NFL sent out a memo saying they made a mistake, which led them to the delay of game penalty, which put them back at the 7-yard line instead of the 2-yard line. Also, whatever was happening on the freaking Jumbotron that Aaron Rodgers saw.
I still don't know whatever.
I don't know what it is. No one knows what it is.
I've heard that it was apparently Tom Brady's tablet that was showing the play that they were about to run on the 2-point conversion.
Might have been that. I have no clue.
That's weird.
Whatever it was. But what I will say about that game is whatever it was, neither team deserved to win that game.
I mean, we kind of expected it to be a low-scoring game with the defenses that both those teams had and the fact that neither team really had receivers. Green Bay's never had receivers this season, and Tampa Bay was down a bunch with suspensions and
They were
injuries.
down their top 3 receivers.
Yeah, and Green Bay just never had receivers to begin with. So you kind of expected this to be a low-scoring game, and a low-scoring game it was. But Green Bay ended up winning the battle of attrition. So,
yeah.
I know as a Tampa Bay fan that's disappointing, but
it's just tough. It's a tough way to lose.
I mean, to be fair though, you guys were in it the entire time. It's not like it was a blowout or anything.
There were multiple opportunities where we had to score more. And look, Todd Bowles said in his post-game press conference, you can't score 12 points and expect to win a football game no matter how good your defense is.
It's true. That's kind of the Panthers' MO lately. But the Panthers got their first win. I'll take that.
Congratulations.
I expected us to go 0-3, but Baker Mayfield is still the worst starting quarterback in the league right now. His numbers are all at the very bottom, like 30th to 32nd in the league. And so I was telling this, JR and I were talking yesterday. I told him, so one of the touchdowns the Panthers had yesterday was a 67-yard throw to the flat for Laviska Shenault, where it was literally like maybe a 0 air yard catch and a 67 yard after the catch. You take away that throw, Baker threw for 103 yards because he had 170 on the day. Like, the only reason the Panthers won this game was because they forced a defensive touchdown with the fumble recovery, and also forced 2 interceptions, also had a blocked field goal. Also, the Saints missed another field goal after a sack pushed them back further. So literally the defense carried the defense, and Laviska Shenault's touchdown carried the Panthers. And it was just like, it's one of the ugliest wins you can have, but I'll take the fact that we're not 0-3.
Does it feel like there's a lot of ugly wins in these first three games for a lot of teams? It feels like there's a lot of these games where you have some teams both look pretty bad and one just kind of, I guess, is less bad than the other team in some ways.
I mean, I think there's like a mix of like half defensive dominated games and half ugly games. Like, Panthers had an ugly win over the Saints, and the Saints played ugly. The ugly game with Denver and San Francisco was an ugly game. But you look at the score with like the Dolphins and Bills, I don't think that was an ugly game. It was lower scoring than probably should have happened. The Bills had a lot more chances to score than they ended up with 19 points. I wouldn't call that an ugly game though, other than the butt punt.
I hate to, as much as I hate to say this, the best game of the week was the Jaguars handing it to the Chargers.
Oh my gosh, can we talk about the Jaguars? Like, did anyone expect them to not only beat the Chargers but beat them by 28?
Yeah.
Like, goodness gracious, is it like, are the Chargers for real? Or sorry, are the Jaguars for real? Or are the Chargers not nearly the team we thought they were? Which one do you think it is? Or maybe even a combination of both?
I fully believe in Claire Danes at quarterback for the Jaguars. I think Claire's got it going.
I need to find the picture and put it up on the screen, but I just don't have the time to pull it up right now.
I think it's more of it was a fluke week, and we've seen a lot of those in the NFL this recently. It was a fluke week.
For who? Jacksonville or San Diego?
For San Diego.
I did it again. LA.
For both. For both. I think
it's the LA Chargers, not San Diego. I did it twice. I did it twice.
I think the Jaguars outplayed what they should and the Chargers underplayed what they should.
So does that mean if they played where they were supposed to, Jaguars would have just won by 7 instead of 28?
No, I think the Chargers would have won by 2 scores.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's an awfully big turnaround. I know that Justin Herbert obviously was dealing with some injuries throughout the week, but that has to be an eye-opening result for them. For a team that a lot of people still have Super Bowl hopes for, and to have Jacksonville come in.
Didn't I pick them going to the Super Bowl? I think I did.
No.
I had the Bills. No. I had the Bills. I had the Bills beating the Chargers in the AFC Championship game.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people have been on the Chargers bandwagon as a team to make a big run, and
especially with what they added on defense this year. But it didn't look like whatever they added on defense helped at all this game.
Yeah, I mean, again, Aiden could be right. It could be a little bit of a fluke game, but to lose by 28 at home like that's an eye opener.
I mean, is it really a home field for them? No one ever shows up to their games.
Yikes.
It's true, though.
When it's Jacksonville, I mean, at least Jacksonville had to travel all the way across country to go there.
Yeah, that's true. What are some other interesting storylines? How the Bears are actually 2-1, even though, like, was it Justin Fields? I was about to say Justin Herbert. That wasn't right. That was what we were just talking about. Justin Fields looked almost as bad as Baker Mayfield, but they still won by 3 over the Texans.
I mean,
that's another ugly game.
Another rock fight game. I mean, I'd say one of the stunners for me was the Colts beating the.
That was a good game. That was a good game. I enjoyed watching that one.
That was a very good game. I mean, the Colts, with their backs against the wall, at home facing a team like the Chiefs. I mean, that was. It's hard to say a week 3 game is a must-win game, but for a team with those expectations, similar to my Bengals, you obviously can't go the first 3 weeks without a win, and that was a big win for them, man.
Yeah, but their season so far has been a big giant question mark, because week 1 tied against the Texans, week 2 lose against Jacksonville, week 3 beat the Chiefs. I was just like, what are you doing? What's going on? Like, which is the real Colts? The team that's tying the Texans or the team that's beating the Chiefs? Or is it somewhere in between? Because there's no consistency with them right now.
Somewhere in between?
Maybe it is somewhere in between. I mean, honestly, I expected it to be somewhere in between, but tying the Texans. Now we might start saying that the Jacksonville result isn't necessarily a fluke, because they're playing really well right now.
Yeah.
But regardless, at the beginning of the season, you would have expected them to start the season 2-0 and then potentially lose against the Chiefs, and apparently they just wanted to flip that on its head and throw a tie in there for good measure.
Yeah, and you mentioned, the Jacksonville. We talk about how hot they are. Not to get into week 4 really just yet, but their week 4 opponent is the Eagles, who have also been red hot. I mean, that could be a really, really fun game to watch between two teams playing really well right now.
At the beginning of the season, would you have thought Eagles Jacksonville? That's a game I want to watch.
Right.
Eagles are probably going to roll on that one. That's what I would have thought. But speaking of the Eagles, they are one of 2 teams that have yet to lose this season. The Eagles and the Dolphins are the only teams that are still standing as undefeated. And I got to give props to the Dolphins knocking down the Bills. I didn't think the Bills were going to lose for a while. Now, I might say that if this game that they just played was in Buffalo instead of in Miami, that Buffalo might have pulled away the win. Like, I think home field advantage probably had something to do with it. Miami just seems to play really well against division opponents when they're at home. Like, they've been like one of the Patriots killers at home, like the Miami Miracle that one year. But man, that was a hard fought effort. And you would have, if you looked at the stats of Tua versus Josh Allen, you would have thought that the Bills steamrolled because Josh Allen crazily outplayed Tua. And now I know at one point Tua was knocked out of the game, and I think the Players Association is investigating concussion protocol on that one.
Yeah.
Because that was a scary moment. I don't know if you guys saw the reaction after he got hit, but he was walking. He all of a sudden like collapsed onto the ground.
They're saying it might have been a different type of injury, but it looked concussion. Again, I'm no doctor. I'm no anything, but it looked like a concussion from a guy who's had.
I'm no anything.
from a guy who's had 2 concussions, it looked pretty concussion-like.
Yeah, it did.
You're just in this day and age of football. You're just shocked if you see a guy have that kind of reaction and re-enter a game. I mean, I think anybody who saw that felt like there's no way they're going to let him back in the game. And
well, I'm just glad, speaking of injuries, that the doctor that put a shot into Justin Herbert didn't puncture his lung, i.e. Tyrod Taylor.
Oh my gosh. Aren't they suing him right now?
Yeah, they're suing that doctor. Both the Chargers and Tyrod Taylor are both suing that doctor.
Yeah.
I do have an update on Tua though. They just I just got this alert a couple hours ago. He's going to be a limited participant in practice this week, and he's set to undergo tests on his back and ankle. So nothing to do with his head, apparently.
I call BS.
Yeah. Maybe you think they're just trying to hide a concussion symptom?
Yeah.
Ooh, spicy. I guess that's why the NFLPA is investigating.
But wait, how many times have we seen the Dolphins been colluding or accused of colluding?
You're just salty that they're trying to take Tom Brady from you.
I'm salty that they were guilty.
Well, fair. You can accuse someone and just not care about it unless they're guilty. I think another surprising thing is I'm looking at the standings across the board is the fact that the NFC East has 3 teams above 500. They have 2 2-1 teams and a 3-0 team, and then you have the Commanders at 1-2. That's pretty crazy to me because I have, like, the past few seasons we've seen the NFC East as kind of being one of the bottom performing divisions across the NFL, but now we've got Eagles at 3-0, Cowboys and Giants at 2-1, and the Commanders at 1-2. I think the only other division that has something similar is the NFC North, where it's the same thing except they don't have a 3-0 team; they have a bunch of 2-1 teams.
Well, shout out to the Dallas Cowboys led Cooper Rush for taking down what I didn't think was possible.
Cooper Rush is now what 3-0 or 5-0 as a starter in the NFL now.
Yeah, he's like 4-0 as a starter. I think.
I got to give props where props is due. Brendan sent me a tweet about it. He said Cooper Rush better be careful, or he's gonna have to play quarterback for the Panthers. So that wasn't his tweet. He sent me someone who had tweeted that.
I don't know if that's so funny because I'm tired and delusional because I'm trying to keep my mind off stuff, or if it's actually funny.
I thought it was funny. And honestly, right now, the way Baker's playing, I'm looking at Cooper like, maybe? I mean, we will.
Will Greer.
We already gave up Will Greer. He was a Panthers draft pick. We gave him up.
He was such a good college quarterback.
Yeah, but not so much in the NFL. But, oh my goodness. So, I guess we can kind of do what we did last week. What is one of the craziest things as we finished up week 3? One of the crazy storylines that you think is a big deal, whether positive or negative? I mean, we kind of already touched on a lot of them.
Yeah, I was gonna say we kind of touched on
them. I'll say this: it's hilarious. Well, not hilarious, but the Rams, I don't think are playing like Super Bowl champions or the defending Super Bowl champions. They are 2-1, but they have a -9 point differential, and they just don't seem as. I thought they were going to be like one of the top 2 or 3 teams in the NFL. They don't look as dominant as we were expecting them to be. Like, yeah, they lost Von Miller. Yeah, they lost Odell Beckham, but they got Allen Robinson in at wide receiver. Their defense is still has a lot of big names like Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, and they added They added Fred Warner to the linebacker core. And it was just like, okay, well, they're playing okay. They're not playing like what we expected them to. What do y'all think?
Yeah, I think it's kind of one of those things that it might just be the obvious, that the last couple of years they really seem to make moves to kind of go all in for that world championship, for the Super Bowl, and having hit it, I think they just may not quite have that edge, quite have that, hunger like they've had those last couple of seasons. And, as they get into the season, maybe that comes back with the idea of how important a second straight title would be. But I think it's only natural that you kind of have a little bit of that fall off when that's something you've really been aiming specifically for in those last couple of years.
I blame it on them leaving St. Louis.
I'll blame it on them leaving St. Louis. Stan Kroenke deserves nothing.
No, I think the bigger storyline, though, more so than the Rams, is that Jalen Hurts looks like he might be the first good Alabama quarterback to actually play in the NFL.
I don't know. Tua's looking pretty good.
Eh.
I mean, he looked really good against Baltimore.
He loves to turn over the ball, though.
This year, he hasn't really turned it over.
Tua turned the ball over.
I know you keep calling him that, but does that necessarily mean he is? I'm pulling up. We're both pulling up stats right now. NFL stats.
Both of us.
Let's see who has the most interceptions in the league right now. Can y'all guess? There are 3 players tied with 5 interceptions.
Tua?
No.
3 players tied with 5, huh?
5 interceptions.
Brady?
No, not Brady.
Would Matt Ryan be up there?
Matt Ryan has 4.
Oh, okay.
Let's see here. I'm gonna think. Who did the Bucks play?
One of the guys is known to throw a lot of interceptions.
Oh, Jameis.
Jameis Winston is one. He's got 5.
Yeah, 3 of them to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I know Joe Burrow may have 5.
And two of them this week to the Panthers. Oh,
Joe Burrow.
No, Burrow's not on there.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna say.
By the way, Tua only has 2 interceptions so far.
Yes.
Less than 1 per game.
I'm gonna say that one of them is Matt Stafford.
Matt Stafford has 5 interceptions as well. That is correct. And then the last one, I'll just go ahead and tell you, it's Mac Jones. Has 5. He had a bad game this week. He also might be out for a few weeks. Yeah, he got injured on the last play of the game, and he might be out for multiple weeks. So I don't even who's even the backup in New England. I don't even know.
Is it still Brian Hoyer?
Oh, please be Brian Hoyer.
Is it? Hold on. Let's look at the Patriots.
Is it Brian Hoyer, one of the quarterbacks on the long list of Cleveland, the jersey, the quarterback
Cleveland
jersey
shirts?
From Cleveland?
Oh yeah, totally.
I'm pretty sure he was.
Here you go. Let's take a look at the New England Patriots depth chart. Brian Hoyer is the backup quarterback.
Hey, we get to see Brian Hoyer. You think they can get Fitzmagic to come out of retirement?
No, they'll bring Cam Newton back.
Yeah, Fitz
that was a bad experiment.
Fitz is way too unpredictable for Belichick.
I think they try to get Josh McCown before they get Fitz.
Or Josh Rosen. That was one of the biggest busts of all time, Josh Rosen.
Oh, I know that. He was the guy that was in such high demand too for a lot of teams.
Yeah, it's the thing is with Josh Rosen, and we're going off a big tangent here, but I don't ever think he got a fair shot at playing in the NFL. He kept getting jumped around from team to team. He didn't get any consistent playing time.
Yeah,
I don't know if there was some like behind the scenes issues that we don't know about? Like, was it a character thing? Was it like clashing with the coaching staff? I don't know, but like that dude jumped around to so many teams, never really got a chance to show that he was worth the early first round pick that he was. Kind of feel bad for him. Like I just don't feel like he got a fair chance. I don't know. Maybe I'm completely wrong.
Yeah, I think it was bad luck, with the Arizona position too, because I think he was starting to settle in a little bit there after that first year, and then Kingsbury came in and wanted to go the Kyler Murray route, and that really kind of started that spiral that you're talking about.
Yeah, it took two top 5 quarterbacks in back-to-back seasons or something like that, or was it top 10, something like that?
Yeah,
top 15, I think.
Oh, top 15. Okay.
I think Rosen was like the 14th overall pick or something.
Yeah, something like it was top of the first round. But anyway, let's look at where we ended up in our predictions for week 3, talking about craziness. I don't think these two guys want to look at it very long. But so the first game, the Thursday night game between the Steelers and the Browns, Aiden and I got that one right. How many betting lines were destroyed by the last the fumble touchdown off of all the laterals?
Oh man, that was brutal.
Oh man, I bet a lot of bets were lost on that one, or a lot of fantasy games were swung in certain people's favors on that one.
Yeah,
and then the ugliest game of the week, I think it's fair to say, the San Francisco and Denver. I got it right, but I don't feel good about it. That was ugly. I mean, they rode out of there with a win. I don't have Brendan here to say Broncos country. Let's ride. But but I mean, the 49ers had both teams honestly had every chance to like take control of the game. It just didn't seem like they wanted to. It was bad. At least with like the week 1 game against with Chicago, they had the 49ers had the rain to blame.
Yeah,
with the flooding in the stadium. This one, what's your excuse, man? You walk out of the back of the end zone, give the team those were the game deciding points too. It's just like, what are you doing? And then the Monday night game, which is actually a pretty decent game. Giants had a chance to do something late, but ended up with an interception after their wide receiver slipped on a cut-in route. But Brendan was the only one that nailed that one. I was tempted to go Cowboys, but I just didn't choose them on principle. and the Cooper Rush show lives on. For our
Cowgirls.
Yeah. Now, here's the funny thing. Both week 1 and week 3, remember we didn't end up recording week 2. Both week 1 and week 3, we ended up with 3 out of 4 of us getting our locks right, and 1 out of 4 of us getting our underdog right. Week 1, it was JR being on the backside of both of those, where he didn't get his lock, but he got the upset. This week, unfortunately, Aiden missed both his picks because he was baited into choosing the Bucks by Brendan.
I wasn't going to go with the Bucks either, and Brendan
I know. That's why I said he baited you into it. Now, to be fair, you would have chosen the Chiefs over the Colts, and you would have lost that too. So,
true.
Regardless, you didn't get the lock. But Eagles, Packers, Bengals all got their wins. JR was telling me beforehand the Bengals winning was the only one I cared about. I don't care if I went 1-4 in my predictions this week.
Yeah, that was the most important one of all.
That's right.
I went a bad 1-4. I went a bad 1-4.
Yeah, you kind of did. But Brendan ended up getting the Dolphins over the Bills correct, and we thought that was probably well, I don't know if it was the craziest pick, but it was definitely a bold one considering how much we thought the Bills were good this season. I was close on my Lions pick though. The Vikings only took the lead late, so I was close on that one. I don't know about the Cardinals and Patriots. They didn't really seem very close in their games, did they?
No.
Yeah, that Patriots-Ravens game was pretty close until late.
Yeah, and then Mac Jones just started throwing up interceptions.
Right.
So let's take a look at the updated standings, and I am very happy to show these updated standings because I am the only one with a winning record. Let's go. Wow. So after I've gone 3-2 both weeks, so I've been consistent so far. So I'm at 6-4. Aiden, after a strong week 1, ended up 1-4, so he's now 4-6. Brendan is at 4-6 after a better week 3 than week 1, and then JR unfortunately is down at the bottom at 3-7.
I guess that's why we're Joes.
Yeah, none of us are better than 6-4.
Yeah.
So let's talk about week 4 and just show everyone else, continue to show people why we're not good at making picks. So here are the games on the docket for this week. We have what I think is going to be a really good Thursday night game between the Dolphins and JR's Bengals. And then another fantastic game. We got the Chiefs versus Aiden's Bucks. And
where we don't know where that game is going to be played yet.
It might. I've heard it's rumored to be played in Minnesota, which will be like.
I've heard it's rumored to be played in Miami.
Why? I don't know why you would keep it in Florida, but oh well.
Who knows?
And then the Monday night game is going to be L.A. Rams versus the San Francisco 49ers. All three of these games are pretty good games in my book, unless the 49ers play like they did this week. So. And also, by the way, I still have Brenda's name on here because he did send me his picks. He was traveling today, so that's why he wasn't able to join us for a recording. But actually, before we get into the actual picks, I just want to say I'm really looking forward to Thursday because the Bengals are wearing their all-white uniforms, and they look so nice. I love the way they look.
The white tiger is out, man. Baby.
Dude, just take the orange out of everything. Like you don't even need the orange anymore. Those uniforms just look so cool. And the greatest thing is later on this year when the Panthers play on Thursday night, they're going to be playing in their all black with their black helmets, just to contrast the all white from the Bengals. Oh, I just love the fact that they're allowing the alternate helmets this year. It's so amazing. I love it. Like literally when I'm playing Madden, I only use the black helmets with the Panthers because they're so much better than the silver ones. So I'm really looking forward to this Thursday night. I guess, well, let's let JR go first because we know what he's going to pick.
Yeah, this is a tough game to pick because I really do think the Dolphins are a really good team. And if Tua was 100% healthy, I would have a really, really tough time. But I think, you combine his status being a little bit up in the air with it being a short week, and the whiteout is going to have Bengals and their fans all pumped up. That defense, they have a defense that can match up with the weapons that the Dolphins have. So I'm definitely going Bengals. Hooday, win on Thursday night, baby.
All right, I'll go ahead and give Brendan's prediction. And of course, he knowing him, he has to give the scores as well, and he did indeed send me the scores. He says Cincinnati over Miami, 38-33. So he has also gone with the Bengals. Aiden, what say you?
Being in the state of Cincinnati, and Tua's
the state of Cincinnati. Cincinnati's not a state. No,
Cincinnati's its own state.
It sort of is like a city-state.
It kind of is.
Okay, just like Texas is a country. All right, go ahead.
Yes, exactly. But being in Cincinnati, also, Dolphins had a really tough matchup on a short week. Tua's injury, and he'll probably be limited. I got to go Bengals. Andrew is going to play spoiler.
I've been going back, but here's the thing. I've been going back and forth. Like, y'all had the same reasons I would use to pick the Bengals. Like, they're at home. The fans are going to be pumped up with the all-white uniforms. Dolphins just came out of a tough game where they barely squeaked one out. They're going to be on the road. I mean, honestly, I did go into this thinking I was going to pick Miami, so I'm going to stick to my guns. I'm picking Miami in the upset. The biggest reason I'm hesitant, though, is because of Tua's health. If Tua does not remain healthy, I'm going to lose this. That's just plain and simple. But if Tua is healthy and able to go, I believe that they'll pull out the win over the Bengals because, honestly, I haven't really seen much out of the Bengals this year that I was hoping to see like they did last year. Their only win is over the Jets, which I don't know if that's saying very much. Now, considering the Jets beat the Browns in a miracle, that's saying one thing. But the Jets are still the Jets, regardless. So I'm going to take Miami there. All right, Chiefs, Bucks. Aiden, we all know what you're going to do. Go first.
Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and, this game's a tough one for me to pick, honestly, similar to like JR's reasoning. But surprisingly, I'm going to take the Chiefs. I don't think the Bucs have been looking good, and only with Mike Evans coming back, plus the Bucs not knowing where this game is going to be played and losing that advantage of Raymond James Stadium in a home crowd, could be a tough matchup for them. So I think the Chiefs just have the better matchup this week.
Even coming off of the loss from the Colts?
That's going to light a fire under their butt.
Wow. Aiden picking against his own team. Hey, I got to respect the guts to not play the homer every time and go with what you think's going to happen. I got to respect that. I mean, I'll just follow that up with kind of the same reasoning. I think that losing home field advantage is going to be a huge key for them. Also, I was not impressed with their play against the Packers. Now, the Chiefs might not have as good of a defense as the Packers, but they definitely have a better offense than the Packers right now. And I think the Chiefs are going to go into wherever they're going to play this game, and they're going to pull out a win over the Bucs, send the Bucs to 2-2, and at the end of this week, maybe the Panthers will be tied at the top of the division.
Look, I'm just mad Brennan isn't here because then he can no longer call me the ultimate homer anymore.
I mean, we can still say that, but oh, and actually, I just read what he put in his prediction.
What did he say?
I didn't read these ahead of time because I was trying to keep it. I was trying to keep my reactions pure. He said, "Kansas City over Tampa Bay, 37-17. F. Aiden."
Wow.
I censored what he actually said. Y'all can figure out what he said. Not that hard. He did put LOL at the end, so it wasn't jest. But
it was the nicest possible F. Aiden.
If you could have that. But he did have the Chiefs winning by 20. 37-17. So he has quite a blowout for the Chiefs over the Bucs. JR, what say you?
I am going to be the dissenter here in this one and go with Tampa Bay. Losing a home field advantage can be key, but one thing that always travels is a good defense. And I think, their defense is enough to keep them close. Getting Mike Evans back is huge for that offense. They still have Leonard Fournette, who can run the ball against that Chiefs defense. The Chiefs losing that game last week in Indy kind of showed that they still have some chinks in their armor, and I think the Becks find a way to bounce back with Brady and Mike Evans and Lenny Fournette behind that defense.
All right, so
you know what? Nope, I'm calling an audible. I can't do it. I can't in good faith do it. I can't in good faith do it.
Come on, stick to your guns.
No,
don't flip flop on us.
Faith do it because I just also read a tweet that said Julio Jones will be back for this game. So with Julio and Mike Evans back, I can't.
I'm putting. You know what? You know what I'm gonna do? Here. I'm gonna put this here, and then hold on.
You're gonna put an asterisk.
Yes, I'm gonna put it. That's exactly what I'm putting an asterisk next to it.
Wow.
I'm putting it. It's the asterisk game for Aiden.
What if I get it right? I still get the point.
I'll give you half a point. No kidding. Put an asterisk next to it. Oh man, Aiden, you flip flopped live.
I couldn't
do
it.
For us.
I couldn't do it.
It's like one of those couldn't keep a straight face moments.
I really couldn't. I was gonna flip and be a dissenter, especially if JR went Chiefs. But then he reminded me that Mike Evans and the defense plays so well, and then that reminded me that Julio Jones is back as well. So two of Brady's top weapons are back. Brady's gonna be playing with a vengeance. And then here's something that's said too. The Bucs are one of those teams that in their area live for the community. The Bucs are so important to the Tampa Bay area and the Tampa Bay community that they're going to be playing this game for Tampa Bay, like New Orleans did for
Katrina.
So Bucs are going to be playing with the chip on their shoulder that the Chiefs don't have.
I mean, the Chiefs, like you mentioned earlier, the Chiefs have their own chip on their shoulder after losing to Indianapolis.
To Indianapolis and
I know they're vastly different motivations. I know. I'm just saying they also have a chip on their shoulder.
But
it's just not as big of a chip.
Yes, exactly.
That's fair. All right. Monday Night Football. This will be a good one, hopefully. Rams, Niners. I'll do Brendan's first. He has, I'm trying to edit the wrong screen here. He has the Rams over the Niners 31-17. He thinks it's going to be another blowout game.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a fairly close game. I think, both of those defenses have been playing really well, and the offenses, like we talked about, have been struggling a little bit. So I would have a hard time believing either of those teams is going to get to 30 points in this game. But I would lean toward going the Rams way also. Just I think they probably have just enough offense to overcome the Niners.
So for me, this is a rivalry game, a division rivalry game. So we know both teams are going to bring their A game. It's just something different about playing your division rivals that brings out the best in your teams. And I think the fact that the 49ers are playing back at home, their two ugly games were on the road when they had the Bears and the Broncos. Their win was at home. I can't remember who it was. Who did they win against? Oh, let me check my stats. The Niners won at home against the Seahawks. Okay, I guess that's really not saying that much. But regardless, they're playing at home this week. I think they also have a chip on their shoulder to be like, we are way better than scoring 10 points and running out of the back of the end zone. So I think the Niners are going to bounce back and take an upset win over the Rams.
Jimmy Garoppolo is a very interesting quarterback. In his career against the Los Angeles Rams, he's thrown 9 touchdowns, but thrown 7 interceptions. Has a completion percentage of 68.4% and a QB rating of 96. However, do you know what his record is against the Rams?
How many games has he played? So I can
6.
6-0?
He is 6-0 against the Rams. Jimmy Garoppolo and the 49ers by a million.
By a million. All right. Hey, and by the way, I'll take that 68% completion rate. Can you please send that over to Baker, please?
Give him a few percentage points at least.
He was under 50% this week, but he didn't turn the ball over. I'll take it. All right. Our locks and our underdogs. These are always very interesting because we have no idea where we're picking from. Hold on.
One more thing as well, please.
Oh, yeah, go for it.
For a last minute. Matthew Stafford in his career against the San Francisco 49ers is 1-5.
Is that including with Detroit?
Yep.
Okay, well.
With LA, he's 0-2.
There we go. Okay, even better. That's a better stat to do. If he won with the Lions at one point. But all right, I'll go first with my lock. So I think a team that I picked to go far in the playoffs is destined for a comeback or a bounce back week, and they have the perfect team to do that against. They may fall to another trap as they got destroyed by Jacksonville this week, but I think the Los Angeles Chargers, I almost said Las Vegas, that would have been real bad, mix everything up, but I think the LA Chargers are going to come and as a lock win over the Houston Texans this week. That's my lock. You want me to go ahead and follow up with Brendan's?
Yes.
Or no. So he gave me some options. We'll do Brendan's last because he doesn't want his words were, I don't want to double up over anyone. So he gave me multiple options from what he wants to, from what he doesn't want to. If someone else chose the same game, he wants me to move to the next one. So I'll wait on his until the end. So you guys go ahead.
Brendan, here's my FU to you.
Uh-oh.
Give me the Browns and and my man Jacoby Brissett over the terrible looking Atlanta Falcons.
All right. We got the Browns as a lock over the Falcons. I actually considered that one as well. All right, JR.
So I struggled with this one. I thought about going with the Chargers in this lock pick, but I'm going to go with a team I I am a little bit surprised. I'm calling a lock pick, but matchup wise, I think it fits them pretty well as the Detroit Lions.
I was considering that one as well. Yeah.
I think they have been playing pretty well so far this year. Like you said, Andrew, they probably should have won last week against the Vikings, and the Seahawks. They won Week 1 in an ugly game, against the Broncos, and haven't really looked all that great since then. So I think Detroit has enough there to get the win at home.
All right, and none of us picked Brendan's first listed game, so we will go with his initial lock, which is Green Bay over New England. Oops, did not mean to do that. I replaced the Kansas.
Of course, he goes with the obvious one where it's like a 10-point favorite. I mean, come on.
I mean, he's just trying to make it easy on himself right now.
That's weak.
Cupcake.
I like how just calling him out while he's not here to defend himself.
My lock is Alabama.
My lock is Alabama.
I mean, they almost lost to Texas, so it's not always as pure of a lock as you can get. But
my lock is Pat McAfee on College Game Day.
Oh gosh. All right. Upsets of the week, or our underdogs.
Do Brennan's first.
You want to do Brendan's first?
Yeah.
He's got a bold one. He has... Let's see if I have him on my... Yes, I do. He has the Jacksonville Jaguars ending the 3-0 start of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Wow.
And his score is 31-24. By the way, the Packers one, he says they'll beat New England 35-6. So he has chosen the Jacksonville Jaguars to hand Philadelphia their first loss of the season and continue this surprising start to their season. So that's a pretty bold one, okay? So you can't give him any crap for that one.
That's pretty bold.
All right, who's next? JR, go.
Yeah, I'll go with mine. Last week, you were able to get the Dolphins being the upset of the Bills. I'm actually going with another upset pick against the Bills this week with the Ravens. The Bills have a ton of injuries on defense, and that Ravens offense has been red hot lately with Lamar Jackson and Mark Andrews, Devin DuVernay, and they got J.K. Dobbins back. So I think they're going to have a little too much firepower for that banged up Bills defense.
You got a great matchup when you're talking about the Ravens as underdogs. That's going to be a really good game to watch. It's not even. It's what time slot is that? A 1:00 game next week?
That's a 1:00 game.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun one to watch. That might be the one I hope that's in my area. I doubt it, but all right, I'll go next. My underdog pick. I cannot believe I am actually choosing this, but it's more about that I don't trust the team that they are going up against more than I'm trusting this team to win. But I'm going to go with... I might even have to upload the picture because I don't think we've used them yet. Yep, I have to find the picture. Hold on. Pause. Technical difficulties. NFL logos, where are they? I'm going with the Jets, Jets.
Wow.
Over the Pittsburgh Steelers this week.
I fully endorse this pick. That would make me happy.
And again, this is more against I don't trust the Steelers at all, as opposed to I trust the Jets to win. But we saw that the Jets have this I'm not going to give up mentality this season with their comeback win over the Browns, and I just think that the Browns are a better team than the Steelers, and by the transitive property, that means the Jets are better than the Steelers. The Jets beat the Browns beat the Steelers. That means the Jets will beat the Steelers. That's my pick.
I like it. So part of me wants to bet against the Dallas Cowgirls. Every ounce of my being wants to bet against the Dallas Cowgirls. And then I see the matchup. It's Carson Wentz.
Yeah, it's a Commanders.
But then I was looking through the lines, and I'm like, okay, trying to find a line. You know what? Danny Dimes' days are over in New York. Give me da Bears.
Bears over the Giants.
Yes, please. Give me
All right. I believe. Yep, I do have the Bears on here. I don't have to go to my folder.
The Bears.
The Bears.
The Bears. All right. There are our picks. You can guarantee that none of us are going to go 5-0. That's one lock you can count on.
No, Aiden looks like a 5-0 this week.
Yeah, you said you looked like a 4-1 last week, and you ended up 1-4.
I look like a 1-1. I look like a 1-4.
1-1.
Dude, my mind is elsewhere other than football right at the moment.
No, I understand that. So, but let us know what you guys think down in the comments as to what who's crazy here. Who is like, what in the world are you smoking making these picks? I don't know. People might think, I don't know. I think my Dolphins pick is not necessarily a bad one over the Bengals, considering they're the only 3-0 team in the AFC. I would have thought it would have been like split 2-2, honestly. Instead, 3 of you guys are going for the Bengals. So I don't know. We'll see. It's going to be fun. That's going to be a fun game to watch regardless.
You know, it's a funny time when my lock is the Lions and my underdog is the Ravens.
It just goes with what the matchups are. I mean, the Ravens are playing the Bills, and the Lions, who are they playing again?
Seahawks.
The
Seahawks. Yeah. That is a very funny point, though. That is valid. So, but looking forward to some honestly, I'm more excited for this week in terms of the slate of games than I was last week. Last week, I was just like, oh, we have to watch the Steelers and Browns on Thursday Night Football.
Yeah, all 3 of the national spotlight games. You know, you look at them on paper and you feel like they should all be pretty entertaining.
Also, what we haven't mentioned is there's a 9:30 a.m. England game.
That is true.
The Saints and the Vikings.
Yeah, brunch
Saints
football.
Vikings are playing in London this week. So that'll be fun. This is not going to go on record, but make your pick on that one. Saints or Vikings?
Skull Vikings.
Yeah, I got to go Vikings.
It better be Vikings because I don't want the Saints to win.
I hate the Saints. So I can't pick them.
You and me both, Aiden. I'm so glad. Aren't you glad that the Panthers beat the Saints, though? Aren't you glad?
I am so glad.
Yeah.
Look. Here's how I rank my hatred of the teams in the NFC South. Hate the Saints the most, then the Falcons, and the Panthers have just been our little brothers for so long that it doesn't matter what they do.
What do you mean for so long? 2015, man.
Wah.
You only got good when you got Brady. And once he leaves, you'll be back to being bad.
Not with the weapons that are around him. Not with his defense.
No one's going to want to come to Tampa Bay once Brady leaves. That's why you've been getting all these guys.
I disagree.
Like Julio and Gronk coming back. The only reason they came to Tampa Bay is because of Brady. I'm just saying enjoy it while it lasts, because as soon as he's gone, who you got at quarterback?
Kyle Trask, baby.
Ugh.
KT,
baby, all the way.
Yeah, have fun with that.
Hey,
although I can't say much, I've got Baker. So
2 years of learning underneath Tom Brady, and he had a cannon of an arm at the University of Florida.
Yeah, he's got Jimmy Garoppolo written all over him.
He really does.
I don't really feel like Brady's really the teacher type.
Kyle Trask has said in multiple interviews that he has been a great teacher. Him and Brady get to the facility at 5:30 a.m. and watch film together.
That's fair. I just see Brady breaking equipment, so that's all I see. How many tablets has he destroyed now? At least 2.
2.
Technology is scared when they're around Tom Brady.
Oh, Lord.
Anyway.
hey, at least we know what the playoffs taste like.
Okay. A lot of teams do.
Not yours.
Not last year.
When's the last time you made the playoffs?
I think it was 2015.
Exactly.
Hold on. I have to fact check this. I should know as a Panthers fan. I mean, to be fair, I'm already behind the 8 ball being a Panthers fan, so it's just a bunch of misery. Only been to the Super Bowl twice, and haven't really done much with it. Hold on, Sorry, I'm trying to search and talk at the same time, and sometimes it doesn't work.
You just gotta keep pounding those keys.
Yeah. Why do y'all make fun of that? It's such an inspirational story behind it. Y'all just make fun of it. For all that are watching that don't know what the story behind the keep pounding phrase for the Carolina Panthers, look up the story of Sam Mills. Let's see, team records. There they are. Why does it only show one season? Oh, that's a total. Oh, they list. Oh, there it is. A list of seasons. All right. We were in it in 2017. We made it as a wild card team and lost our third. We went 0-3 against the Saints that year. We lost twice in the regular season and once in the playoffs. So we were there in 2017. Since
the last time you won a
that was the last time we were above 500 too. So, yeah.
You guys are also 2-1 against the Arizona Cardinals in the playoffs.
That's true, and we're playing the Cardinals this week.
Coincidence?
That's our matchup. Well,
you're also 2-0 against the Cowboys in the playoffs.
I'll take that. Anyway, we're getting way off track here. We're just literally searching for topics, and we don't really need to think of topics anymore because we've covered all we wanted to cover. So thank you guys. or before I wrap up, any last thoughts about Week 4 or the NFL season so far? That's not about the Panthers' playoff record against specific teams.
I think the Panthers just need to keep pounding their way to a below 500.
Stop making fun of it, man. Guys are taking a serious thing and sullying it.
Let's just all get ready for White Tiger Night on Thursday night, baby.
I'm so looking forward to that. I
want to know what kind of swagger Joe Shiesty's coming into the building with. What kind of iced out swagger he's coming with.
JR, are they selling like the whiteout jerseys? Like are they available in like the team shop?
I'm sure they are. I would be shocked if they weren't.
Are they new jerseys for this year specifically, or they had the white jerseys before?
No, they've had the white jerseys before. They just didn't have the
white helmet.
White helmets, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that was their kind of color rush alternate uniform in the past.
Yeah, the Panthers just went with the all light blue, and I'm just like, the light blue pants just don't look good. Although I will say, it's the funniest thing of all time was when they first started doing the color rush games. And one of the first ones was Bills Jets. The Bills were in all red. The Jets were in all green. And they were filing complaints to the NFL because people with red-green color blindness couldn't tell the teams apart.
Right.
That was probably one of the best stories out of these color rush uniforms that I had heard. And also, can we all agree that the Jacksonville gold ones were the worst ones?
Oh, those
were ugly. Those are ugly. Let's stick with the teal and black and with the gold trim for Jacksonville. Don't go all gold again. That just looked
they weren't as bad as the Steelers throwback uniforms that they used to wear.
Oh, like the striped ones?
Yeah,
like the honeybee.
Yeah.
I mean, they're historical, but yeah, they really don't work in a modern setting.
No.
At least they weren't trying to be modern like Jacksonville was. But anyway, I digress. Looking forward to some great NFL action this week, and we'll see where our standings for our predictions are next week. Also, look forward to more than just NFL content from us coming up soon because we are closing the door on the Major League Baseball season, so we're going to be talking some playoff baseball coming up here soon, so stick around for that. Make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications so you don't miss an episode of the Joes on the Pros. For myself, Aiden, JR, and Brendan, we missed you, even though we got to crap on you while you weren't here to defend yourself. We'll see you guys next time. We are farmers.
Elephant ears, Polish sausages, corn dogs. I can't wait.
Sounds like JR's paradise.
Exactly.